Nice to meet
I'm
you.
excited to be here.
Before we get started, is there anything you guys like feel drawn to like talk about beforehand? Because I just, it kind of helps me preload before I go in, and then I just go into the state, and then you guys just kind of ask your questions as needed. So
Me personally, I just have a bunch of random questions again.
Okay.
And that's about it. That's about it for my end. I don't know if her questions are going to correlate or not. We didn't really discuss much before.
Usually what I have found is that when you guys are connecting to him and talking to him and asking him questions, he just kind of flows at this point. It's not, because you remember when you talked to me before, it was kind of like this stuttering. Now it's become like this very fluid, and he's Madison. He's very direct, and he's very like to the point. He will just say things. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. It's me, but it's not me. It's like,
right.
Like, I don't know if he's shown you the video, but like,
I've seen it. Yeah.
So if you give me a second, I will drop in and I will allow him to come through. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What's going on?
I'm speaking to you.
Oh, okay. All right. I think, Maddie, you can go ahead and ask like all your questions first.
Why do I have to go first? Okay.
Because ladies first.
Okay. So I don't really know what type of questions to ask, but I think I've generated some okay questions. But I want to know how many times I have been like incarnated as a human on Earth, including this life, if that's
the idea that you exhibit and you are experiencing the idea of incarnations is a idea of not static. You shift through the ideas, you connect to various incarnations all the time at different rates, different times. Currently, you are connected to 36.
Oh, wow.
And in the next moment, you're now connecting to 85. The idea is that the incarnations themselves are not static. At one moment, you may be connected to a particular lifetime that is giving you information as to how you are informed about this moment. They could be future incarnations as you refer to them, or past incarnations as you refer to them. It is not static in that nature. So just understand that you're receiving information from the individual incarnations that you have and are connected to.
That makes sense. Okay, so I guess my next question would be like I watched the video with you and Kavan in the past, and I rewatched it to like figure out some questions. But you talked about like a higher frequency because he was talking about a death in a past that he saw in a dream. And you said that you have to be on that higher frequency to be able to come into touch with them. So I just wanted to know how you would be able to come into those higher frequencies to communicate with like a spiritual being or you per se.
Being allowed to exist in a higher way, in a higher frequency, you need to exist more in the present time. Allow yourself to be more present when you are experiencing your life. Because when you are naturally more in the present with your thought process, with your energy, you are naturally existing in a higher state. When you are trying to connect to someone like me and my people, we operate at a much higher frequency than most humans.
Right.
So understanding that, acting on your excitement, knowing that you are in the present moment constantly, is the fastest way to connect to people like me and my people.
That makes sense. I do dwell in the past, I guess. I think a lot. I have a weird
Most humans do.
Yeah, I can imagine, honestly.
You have been entrenched as a society, as a people, to act in such a way that you hold yourself energetically in the past without allowing yourself to move into the future with your experiences.
Hmm. I guess the next question would be like, how would I be more positive? Like,
Understanding that you give the definitions to your experiences, that you do not require to stay in the negative space. So if your experiences are being experienced in a negative way, look at how you are defining them.
hmm. Okay. Can I get a vibrational reading?
64,000.
Oh wow. Um, I think those are all my questions. Oh wait, do have one more question. I want to know how you guys find each other to channel to each other.
Vibrationally, we
Okay.
find people that are open to the idea of a particular experience, such as being a channel, being a conduit for information such as what we have. We look for people that are vibrational matches. Many of the beings that you see that have chosen to have the experience of being channels for us are what you would determine to be our past incarnations, and we are their future incarnations. Because
Okay.
the way our technology works, we can shift into realities such as yours and connect to these different versions of ourselves. I myself am on my ship right now.
Oh wow. That's so cool. I want to channel.
Allow
Um,
yourself to be in a space where you're open to the idea of having an experience such as this. Understand that when you are going through a process to learn how to do and experience things such as this, you will go through a very intense process that does not come across very easy for most humans.
okay. So it's gonna be like a kind of like a challenge in a way. Do you have to be like meditating or does it just happen?
You, as a being, would need to go through a process that allows yourself to know that you're going to look weird. You're going to go through a process of undoing where you do not necessarily know what you're going through. The channel in front of you at first did not understand and did not wish to fully embrace the experience. After a time, he was able to shift into the idea of being in the state. And as he has done it more, it has become more easy for him to actually have the experience of channeling.
Thanks. Come on, do you want to ask a question?
Okay.
I think
Yeah. If you have any other questions, it's like just feel free to just butt in. Well, first off, how's it going, Ethium?
Perfect.
Do you remember me?
Yes.
Oh, what's my name then? Do you remember my
Kevon,
name? Oh, I knew it. Okay. All right,
you
real
know
quick.
your name.
Uh, can you do a health reading? I remember one of the readings that you mentioned last time I've done this was a health reading.
We would ask you to think about it in this way. What is the preoccupation to know what your health status is? Are you not healthy?
It's not. I just want to know where I lie in the health spectrum. I
Are
understand.
you breathing?
I'm sorry.
Are you breathing? Are
Yeah,
you at this time experiencing a difficulty in your health, in your being?
not really. No.
Then why do you need a health reading?
You know what? I'll just move on to the next question. Then. I understand what you're saying.
If it is not necessary for us to give you information such as a health reading, we will ask you the question. We can give you
Okay.
a vibrational reading of your particular frequency, but you ultimately are the one who holds your health in your hand.
Okay. Well, what's my vibrational reading then?
84,516.
you're higher than me.
Yeah, does that mean anything? What is that? Like, what's the
It is
difference
just
between?
your particular vibrational state that you are at this moment. Prior to you asking the question, you are at 94,000.
Okay, so it's constantly moving.
Yes, it
Okay.
is understanding that you are in the present state. When you know that you live constantly in that state of being, it does not require to know a particular vibration. Just know that you are operating at a higher frequency when you allow yourself to exist more presently. Also, going through the idea of your beliefs, negative beliefs that hold you in a particular space can hold your vibration down.
Mm.
So we would suggest dealing with those particular vibration and those beliefs that are of a lower frequency that allow you to move in a higher state.
Okay. This was one question that I never got a chance to ask in the last transaction. Can I get a piece of alien technology? Like, can you just drop it off in my backyard? Something that my human brain can comprehend.
No,
It was worth a shot.
no, the technology that we use and that we have in our alliance amongst our people, you wouldn't understand how to use.
Mm.
What if like you
Some
put like
technology
instructions?
from crafts that have been procured by your government has had some of the technology itself reverse engineered and you use it already.
Oh, okay. So like some of that technology is probably in my phone then.
Yes.
Okay. That's good to hear that we're the mass public is getting some of it.
Well, you
Um,
have been receiving it for years. Just
yeah.
the idea is that you did not necessarily know that is where it originally came from.
Yeah, I thought I heard something about, where that a lot of the reason why we had a big technology boom in the first place was because we were reverse engineering crafts and whatnot.
Yes, but you as a species, as a world, has not quite scratched the surface of what is possible with our technology, even though we do not necessarily need that technology anymore.
Okay. Well, that's kind of exciting because I'm like a big tech head. Like I built my own computer and everything. So I'm like I'm kind of excited to see like what else we could do with it. Um all right. There's this blue light that sometimes appears in the night sky that I can see from my house. Most of the
Yes.
time when it's cloudy, I see the light through the clouds. And I thought it was a hospital that's around the corner because it has like, these lights flaring around and all that. But it wasn't the hospital because those are different colored lights. And this light was stationary. It wasn't flaring around. It was just stationary blue light above the clouds. I'm thinking it's some kind of extraterrestrial. I just wanted to know, do you know what this blue light is?
Many times, people who have the idea of interest in extraterrestrials will have different ships in proximity that are reading and keeping track of their vitals and their energetic levels.
So are
Just
you confirming
understand
that,
that the ship is there observing.
so you're confirming that that was a ship then?
Yes,
Nice.
you are perceiving part of a ship that was not completely in your dimension, slightly phased out of it. You were just being able to perceive a part of a light that was scanning.
Okay. And it wasn't really condensed. It seemed like it was very like sort of panned out a little bit, but it's still in one area.
Yes, they do that.
Okay. All right. All right. So one time, I believe I was partially astral projecting, partially dreaming. I don't know. I feel like I wanted to. I didn't want to leave my body, but I was at the point where I was basically just about to pop out of my body. But at the time, I was very scared and I didn't want to. Now, when I was in this state, I guess some people would call it sleep paralysis. When I was in this state, there was this black figure in my room, and it was floating around. It was black. It was this all black figure and it had red eyes. And it got a little close to me, and I was like, "No, back up." But when I said no, back up, and I reached my arm out to it, I felt I almost came out of my body, which I didn't want to do. And so I was like stuck in this little scenario for a little while. I was kind of scared, not really, but a little bit. And then once the experience ended and I finally woke up, right before I woke up, that black figure went to where my jacket was hanging, and it was almost like it just turned into my jacket. I woke up and it's like it just seems like the black figure was my jacket, just personified into whatever astral realm that I was just in. Can you give more information as to what that figure was that I saw?
It was one of your guides. You were operating on an astral level, so you were able to perceive one of them in a semi-physical way. But because you were very close to your physical body, you did not quite materialize.
So I have a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, okay, so speaking of astral projecting, people always talk about how if you stray too far from your body, some entity can take over your body. I just want to know if that's true.
No.
Okay, thank you.
The idea of astral projection or being out of your body, you are energetically connected to your physical being. The idea of possession is kind of like what the channel is doing in front of you right now. He is allowing me to come in and speak through him, but it is by agreement.
That's actually really cool.
So, okay, I'm still a little dumbfounded that my guide was right in front of me and I was too scared to even interact with him.
I told you not to
the
be
reason
scared.
that they moved away, you lowered your vibration, so you stopped perceiving them. They are around you all the time. You must operate at a high enough frequency that you are able to perceive them, even remember them.
Okay. Yeah, because recently at my job, I had another, I saw this moment in my dream and I was talking to my guides, one of those moments again. And I was like, wow, like this is all happening. Okay, now I have two questions that relate to my girlfriend right here, Madison. One time I was sick. I had some kind of stomach thing going on, and she doesn't like throw up or anything like that. Now, she was all the way at her house, and I'm all the way at my house. And I was in the bed, wasn't leaving the bed, and I was asleep. And in my dream, I was laying down in my bed in my dream, and then while I was laying down in my bed, I turned around to look behind me. And what was behind me, it seemed like I perceived my girlfriend's figure, but in a white light, like she was perceived as just a shining white light as I turned around and I saw her. And then after I had woke up from that dream, like I ended up throwing up later that day. I feel as though my girlfriend had showed up to heal me through a different plane of existence. And I just wanted to know how accurate that assessment was.
Yes. You love each other, correct?
Yeah.
When you are in a state of love, you are operating on a similar frequency. When you choose and want to help your partner, the idea that your partner might want to show up to help you is natural. You do many things in your sleep that you are unaware of and don't always remember. It is not necessary for you to remember all of the experiences that you were having on another level. I am guessing that your girlfriend at that time had a strong desire to help you. Yes?
Yes.
So you showed up in your dreams to help him.
Okay. Question number 2 that relates to my girlfriend. This might be new news for you to hear, Maddie, but every so often, while I wake up, if I'm facing my mirror in my room, my mirror is kind of shaped a certain way. Now, as I'm waking up and coming to, sometimes, like before I even fully wake up, I see a few things like in my room, like it could be floating. Usually whenever I'm facing my mirror, it always resembles my girlfriend because the way that it's shaped, it just looks like her hair is coming outward and whatnot. And sometimes I open my eyes, I see a glimpse of like either it's her face and it's like, you know, this giant mirror and it's just her face looking at me. And I quickly blink and then open them back up and it's my mirror again. This has happened on multiple occasions. And even recently, the one time I think her face did a little expression, like a little animated expression, maybe smiled at me or something. And then I came to and I saw it as just my mirror again. Why does my mirror always transform into her?
Because what you refer to as mirrors are portals.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are shifting back to the idea of your physical experience, many times you are still operating in a much higher vibrational state, returning to the physical plane. You are just being able to perceive the portals more easily. And as you just said, you are experiencing the idea of telepathic connection with her. So you are still in resonance at those times.
Okay. Yeah. At first it freaked me out. I was like, why does my mirror just look like that? Sometimes it wasn't even her face.
You are connecting to her. You are still in the state, even though you are not completely returned to your physical form. You are still in more telepathic resonance. Remember that when we are talking through the channel, we are not speaking at all. We are connecting to him through resonance. We are connecting to him and allowing him to speak, but we are not actually speaking. He is interpreting the vibration that we are sending to him.
Okay. This is kind of leading to another. I guess I'm gonna get all the dream questions out the way. There was another time when I was stuck in that state as mentioned previously. And sometimes
you only experience it as being stuck because that is how you define it. You were never stuck.
Well, sometimes I would like to define it as me, please hurry up and wake up so I don't have to experience this. At the time, I guess I was lowering my frequency when I'm like,
when you define the experience as being stuck, that is how you will experience it.
Okay. So in that experience that I was having, I didn't quite catch her face, but there was a little girl who had long black hair, and I think she was giggling at me or something.
Yes.
Who was that?
A potential child.
Okay. So my own
if
children
you,
are visiting. Okay.
as a couple, choose to continue on, it is a potential child that could be yours.
Okay.
Because they do circle around you and introduce themselves at certain points. It is a potential child.
Okay. Yeah, my sister had also told me that she had definitely seen her child before she gave birth to her. She'd seen her child before she visited her. And then when she had her child, she was like, she had a sense of familiarity. Like, I've seen you before. What's going on? And then she passed out.
The channel in front of you has had his children enter his dreamscape, enter his meditation space many times. They are not physical, but they are waiting around for him to find their mother. But they have introduced themselves many times to the channel.
Wow. So, and he remembers these experiences?
Yes. He's very conscious and very aware of the fact that he has a very strong connection to his potential future children.
All right. Okay. Now, dating far back once again, and this state that I just used to define it as stuck, I was taking a nap on the couch, and this is around the time when I was starting to be in this state more often. I was going from a shift from like not experiencing this state at all to starting to experience this state. And a lot of times I would freak out, and I know that I can make noise in the physical plane because I could hear myself making noise. So I always told somebody, whoever was next to me, I was like, if I ever make noise, wake me up, please. Cause that's me trying to, I want to wake up because I was still scared of this state. Nobody was around to wake me up. So I was like, I'm making noise for no reason. And I thought my mom was around the corner and that she was gonna come over and wake me up. Until I realized that it wasn't really my mom. However, it felt like a motherly presence. And she was wearing, I guess, birthday attire, like, or party attire that you would see at like a kid's birthday party or whatever. However, this was like an older woman, still young, but like older than me, I would say. And she came up to me. I didn't see her face. I never saw her face because I was facing the other way. I heard her footsteps come up to me. She laughed because I guess she saw me struggling. I always figured she laughed at me struggling, trying to make noise like, oh, somebody wake me up. She laughed at me, splashed water in my face, and I woke up. I woke up with no water in my face, but I woke up from her doing that. Can you tell me why this felt like a motherly presence? Like, do you know who that was?
It was one of your guides.
Okay.
It was one of the beings that has worked with you for a long time. It is the feminine aspect of your guides. You do have a masculine aspect, which you have been introduced to. You have the feminine, which you've also been introduced to. Because you are becoming more aware of these things, they are there to help you.
How many guides do I have?
On average, most humans have 3 to 5. But that shifts. You have some that come and go and do other things besides just be your guide.
Okay. How many
And they change
permanent
out
ones
from time to time.
or how many ones that are kind of here to stay for a while do I have at this moment?
You have 1 or 2 main guides, but generally
Okay.
speaking, the rest switch out throughout your entire life. You will have ones that act as your guide for a time and then move on.
Okay. Cool. This is so exciting. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's fun to get like better clarification of what was actually going on. So with this new knowledge, whenever I'm stuck in this state, I guess my guides don't really have a particular look to them at all. Like, there's no way I could like
They
picture
can.
them in my head.
They can.
Okay.
But we would allow you to ask them, how would you like to be seen?
Okay.
They will generally take on the physical form that is most familiar to them.
Okay. All
But
right.
allow
Okay.
them to show themselves in due time. Do not force it. Do not force yourself to be in a state where you have to see what they look like. But just know that they're there. And they will show
Okay.
themselves when needed. And a potential name that they have, just understand they will tell you that also in their own time.
Okay.
But the more you create a connection and a relationship with those particular beings, because they are their own beings,
Yeah.
they will show you who they are, but just allow it to come in a more natural state. Don't force it.
Okay. So basically just continue to live my life.
Just know that this session is more of the idea of smoothing out particular beliefs that are causing you to not have a full connection.
Okay. Okay. I
They
swear
are
I'm
there to
becoming
help. They
I'm
are there to
becoming a
help.
new person.
You're always becoming a new person. You're always shifting through different realities constantly. It's just becoming more aware of that particular shifting that you have been experiencing your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. How I remember Bashar saying that we shift through different frequencies, like literally billions of times per second.
Billions times per second. It never stops. It's just becoming more aware of the shift that is happening. The channel in front of you is just aware of it. He understands the frequency. He understands that everything is happening simultaneously. But just know that it is natural for everyone to experience these things. In my natural state, I experience the shift between different realities in a different way, in a more practical way, where I can perceive the information actively from those particular lifetimes, like the one in front of you.
I believe I have one more question that I have written down here. I was I was wondering how, like, in your physical body, how strong are you?
Physically, you would perceive me to be very weak.
Okay.
Amongst my people, we are able to lift things vibrationally by using harmonic assistance and telekinesis and many of those abilities that you have been told about in your antiquity.
Okay.
Physical strength is not necessary when you have reached
Yeah.
the point of quasi-physical and non-physicalness.
Yeah, I figured. I remember hearing stories or people that would tell stories about, how they've experienced with extraterrestrials, and they were like they're not really that strong physically, but
What is
like
not it is not necessary irrelevant for us to
right.
have a very strong physical form like it is for humans to have it, because we do not eat, we do not sleep. We are more closer to the idea of spirit. We do not have the need for such strong physical forms.
Okay, I figured. That's really nice to know. Maddie, do you have any questions? Did any
Um,
spark up?
no, the only ones I did I asked.
Okay. I thought I had one question lined up in my head, but now it's gone.
It was not necessary.
Can can you tell us a joke?
Wait, I think I have a question.
Okay, no.
But okay, I'll just ask it. Anyways, okay, so I have a twin sister. We're not identical, we're fraternal. But she can astral project a lot easier than I can. And she's only recently been starting to do it because I talk to her like about it all the time. And then after I talked to her about it, she was able to do it. I want to
Yes.
know why. Like, why can't she do it so much easier than I can? Is there something that's holding me back? Like, am I trying too hard?
A need for control.
Mm.
A need to control your environment, control your physical form.
Hmm.
Generally speaking, from an outside view, when you allow yourself to just be in that natural state where it just happens naturally, you're able to just do it.
Right.
But if you relax your definitions, relax the need for control, it will happen naturally.
Hmm.
That makes sense. Like, don't force it, basically.
Yes. When you approach the idea of a higher frequency level, you can't force anything.
That makes sense.
Live in the flow, live in the present.
Right. It's all
There is no
natural.
other place to be other than that time, that space. Literally. We mean this literally. There is no other time than right here, right now, for anything, for anyone to experience.
Yeah. That's
Would you
cool.
like to hear our joke?
Yes.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
A group of first contact specialists come to Earth. They proceed to look at the humans and start laughing their asses off because we find you hilarious.
So do we
crazy.
just look goofy? Is that what it is?
The way you act, the way
Okay.
you believe that you are limited to your experiences of space and time, of your experiences of that there is not enough. There is enough for everyone. You would not exist if there wasn't. We find you hilarious.
I ever since I was a kid, I had quite a fear of bugs, and I've came a long way. Okay, I'm not as scared of bugs. I used to be scared of even fake bugs, but now I'm over that fear for the most part. Now the only thing that my fear really holds on to is how big the bug is. Do you have any advice on how to potentially get over said fear of bugs? And the main reason why I'm asking you this is because I heard that there are, extraterrestrial species that may be of insect physical bodies, and I don't want to be scared of them if they're just like, standing right next to me.
You are referring to the ones that will have been and were managing the hybridization process. They look like mantises.
Hmm.
And many
Those are
of
like-
you have been on their ships. When your egoic mind, not understanding that it was natural or it was there by choice, many of you have been taken because you did not quite understand what they were doing. The fear set it. But they brought you back. You're safe. You're sitting here today.
Yeah, I don't want to come off as offensive or anything, but I feel as though mantises are probably one of the creepier looking bugs.
Praying mantises aren't too bad. There's worse bugs.
Yes. But the beings that you were speaking of,
Yeah.
they brought you back.
So I've had
Mhm.
encounterments with these beings personally.
Yes, that is where the fear comes from.
Oh, okay.
When you encountered the smaller bugs, they reminded you of the experience.
Well, I have a fear of throw up.
A fear of what?
Throw up.
Many of those kind of beliefs carry over from other incarnations of dying because of sickness.
Oh, wow.
But understand that those things are a vibrational experience that is not necessary to hold on to.
Hmm.
Maddie, you died of sickness?
I guess sometime in the
Yes.
past.
You've died many, many different ways. But you are born and you die every moment.
Huh. That's all right. All right. All right. I have a question about my mom now.
Yeah.
My mom, ever since she told me ever since that she was a kid, she has been infatuated with the idea of death. She used to, at times when times got hard for her as a child, she always felt as though that she wanted to go back home where she came from, and she felt the only way that she could do that was if she passed on. Now obviously she's still living to this day, and she's very strong, and she's doing okay. However, she ever since a child, she's always felt this I want to go back home to where I came from because here doesn't feel like her real home. Is she still connected to her spirit? Is that where the urge or the belief is coming from? Is she have a stronger connection with her spirit?
Many of you, in fact, all of you, are in spirit right now. You are having the dream of physical reality. Spirit is your natural state.
Right.
It does not require you to die in order to return. Understand that it is your natural state. You return to it when you are sleeping. It is not necessary to die in order to have that experience. Understand that you can bring knowledge from that realm into your physical experience. So it is not necessary for you to die in order to have that connection and be at home, because you are at home right now.
Okay, because sometimes she would explain it as like she has like a completely separate family that she wanted to get back to.
Well, you
Or-
do have spirit families. You do have other incarnations with families. You have a soul group that you are all part of. That is why you are grouped together the way you are.
Okay. That I guess that makes a lot of sense.
But you are part of a larger group. You are part of a larger family. It does not require you to go into spirit. Understand that you chose her. She chose you because you are part of the same soul group.
Okay. I guess before I run out of questions, I guess as a closer, is there a message? I'm sure you're capable of communicating with my higher self. Is there a message from my higher self, or word of advice that my higher self would want to give to me like right now, or would you be able to translate that to me?
Why are you not defining the information that you're being given as the messages that it is already giving you?
I don't know. Okay, I see what you, so the very experience itself are messages from the higher.
Yes,
Is that-
we are
Okay.
merely just translating your higher mind to you. You are talking to your higher mind right now.
Okay. All right. Are any of you guys going to come to visit me anytime soon in the physical plane?
If it's relevant. But understand the encounters that you are having in your dream space is much more helpful. Just be open to the experiences and allow them to be the natural way that they are there to help you with. To have those interactions in that space, because that is the most relevant and easy way for them to have those experiences, whether it's your guides, your higher mind, or different aspects of yourself that are just trying to connect to you. And they are happening in your waking life. You're just not necessarily conscious of it.
Okay.
Since we're talking about dreams, like I was gonna ask, recently I've had dreams about like people who are dead, but like ghosts, I guess you could say, but I don't know them. Like I've had dreams like that back to back. I like, who are they? Like what are they? What's their message?
They are spirits trying to contact you.
Hmm.
There is no death in the classic sense that you think of. You are of the generation that is the start of the next stage of evolution for humans. So you don't forget, you don't disconnect from the idea of spirit. So you are just more aware of the particular vibrations and the fact that there are people around you all the time
Hmm.
in a higher non-physical way. View these things as natural. View these things as a natural part of yourself. So when you experience and connect to these particular beings, they are just coming to say hi, generally speaking.
Okay.
Be okay with these experiences and define them as just beings that you would like to contacting you back, saying hello.
Hmm.
Listen to what they have to say. They have stories.
So when you talk about a soul group, which I actually like read today, which is like extremely crazy that you like brought that up, but like, what's my soul group of origination? Origination? I don't know.
What is
My
your
soul
family?
group is my family.
Yes.
Oh.
If they are in your life on a regular basis, they're part of your soul group.
Okay.
Your
makes
worst
sense.
enemy could be your best friend
Your
in spirit,
Yeah,
but they
right.
are playing the role of your enemy.
Hmm. Interesting.
So she's playing the role of my girlfriend, and what is she in spirit?
Another
No.
spirit, another part of your soul group, another part of your being. In spirit, you do not necessarily have genders.
Right.
You are saying, I would like to have this experience, so I will play this role for you. I would like to have this experience, so we will come together and have the experience together. And I will be there to help you, and you will help me, and we will learn what we need to learn from the relationship.
So is there such thing as a soul tie?
You are connected, correct?
Mm. I would think so.
You are there by choice. You are there to help each other. Let these things be obvious. If you obviously look at the way things are and look at the connections that you have, they are there by choice. They are there for a reason. They are there to help you.
Hmm.
Everything is there to serve you if that's the way you define it.
Well,
that's
me
the way to look at it.
personally, I'm all out of questions. Maddie, if you have any more, just go ahead. I just want to make sure that I throw that out there. I'm ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, I think I generated all my questions.
Ethium, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for answering my questions too.
Good day.
Good day.
See ya. Welcome back.
1 second. Let me do this real quick.
Okay.